Hi everybody, CyberMark here. Today we're going to do level 3 of the Flaws.Cloud challenge. If you haven't watched level 2 or level 1, you can click here on the link that pops up and you can go ahead and get started with there, or just search my channel for those videos. All right, with that out of the way, let's dive into level 3. The next level is similar to the other ones. This time we're going to be looking for an AWS key. All right, so let's jump over to the command line. Okay, let's grab our URL because we're going to need that. We're going to list out the buckets like we did in the last video. And let's list the contents of this bucket. AWS, S3, let's try it again, S3, LS, and we will take off the HTTP and put S3. All right. Okay, so let's take a minute and read our output. So we have the hints that are part of the page. If you click on those are HTML files. What's really important, what I want to draw your attention to, is this .git directory. In Linux, anything that starts with a git, with a dot, is a hidden directory, and this is a git, which is a version control system. All right, so let's try to list that .git directory and let's see what happens. So we can see that we're limited with the AWS command line. We can't really list anything else inside of here, so we're stuck. Fortunately, the command line offers a sync utility to bring the contents of a bucket down to our local directory. So if I do a long listing here of my local directory, there's nothing there, and I want to sync what's in that bucket down locally. So let's use this command here. We're going to do an AWS S3 sync, and we're going to put that S3 bucket. Should have copied that one, but that's all right. S3. All right, now a couple things we need to add are a no sign request. No sign request. And we will also give it a region. And this bucket is hosted in US West 2, so US West 2. And that should sync it down to our local directory. Oh, I need to tell it that local directory. So let's see if I can tell it that way. And there we go. Awesome. So now let's do a long listing of our current directory, and we can see that we have the contents of the bucket. What's different though is that we now will be able to interact with this directory, this .git directory here. So let's do a long listing on the .git. And if you're unfamiliar with Git, stay tuned for the end of the video where I'll do a bonus to sort of explain some more in depth as to why this vulnerability happened in the first place. So a couple of ways to interact with Git or the versioning control system is, let's just see what are in the logs, right? A lot of times in cybersecurity, we have to see what are in the logs. So we're going to do a Git log. What's important with Git, and something I realized as I was preparing for this video, is that you have to be in a directory that has a .git directory listed in it so that you can interact with the files in there. So we can see in the logs that there have been 2 commits. This is the most recent, and the message that they put in there was that something was accidentally added. And then the initial one was the first commit. So we can check out these different branches. So we're going to do that with git checkout. And we're going to take the hash value of this first one to see what it was that they actually committed that they shouldn't have. All right. So if we do a long listing now, we can see our access keys.txt file. Let's cat that out. So we're going to do a cat access keys.txt, and we have our AWS access key and the secret key. So now we can leverage this to list out other things in that account. So let's go ahead and configure a profile on the AWS CLI to do that. So AWS profile, or configure --profile, and we're going to give this profile a name. We'll call it flaws 3. Enter. Access key is this value here. So highlight that. If you're working like I am in the Windows terminal, by highlighting a value and then right mouse clicking, it'll bring it onto your clipboard so you can paste easier. So that's in there. And then the secret key, we'll highlight that one as well. And right mouse click. Default region, we'll do the US West 2. And I don't care about the output format. Great. So now I should be able to list buckets that are part of this account using that profile and those keys. So I will do an AWS S3 LS, but instead of using my default profile, I will use the profile for Flaws 3. Flaws 3. And I have a lot more buckets to see. So you can see that I have this level 4 right here. I'm going to copy that. And let's go there in our browser. New tab. Paste and go. Wait for it to load. And there we have it. I'll zoom in here so we can see this a little bit better on the screen. All right, so important again to read the output you get when you do this on your own. Highly encourage you to do it on your own because that's how we gain skills, right? So you can read about how Instagram had this issue. We can see how we can avoid this mistake. And I recommend having your own AWS account. Then you can create an access key. You can revoke it. You can roll your keys. These are all good things to do. Now, how did this actually happen? Let's go back and pretend we're this developer, right? So we're going to make a directory. Let's just call it sample. And let's cd into that sample directory. Great. Nothing in here, right? If I do a long listing. Now, if I'm going to start a new project, and let's say I'm going to be using the cloud, I'm using AWS, and I'm going to, have EC2 stuff, S3 buckets. I'm going to do a git init. I'm going to write some code. And now if I do a long listing, I have a .git repo. Let's list that. And we can see it looks similar to what we had there before. So let's play around with this for a little bit. Let's pretend we're that developer who accidentally committed something. How does this really happen? So I'll get to my notes here. Let's say I had my access keys. I'm just gonna make a file here really quick and call it, or give it a string value of, access secret. All right, let's redirect that to something called creds.txt. All right, you can see that I have a creds.txt file there. Let's say I'm using that back and forth for different things I'm doing. I'm excited about this new project. I do a new file called, I do a hello world script. Hello world. And let's redirect that to something called script.sh, right? So now I've got a couple files in my project. I'm ready to commit it to my Git repository. So I'm going to git add everything in this local directory that's been following. And then I'm going to git commit. And I'm going to give it a comment, tac m. And I'm going to say started the project. Right? Awesome. So, oh no, I see that 2 files changed. One of them is my creds file. I shouldn't have done that, right? This is kind of what happened with that developer in that situation we just finished with level 3. So I need to change that really fast. So let me remove, because Git is still following all the changes in this directory. So let me remove my creds file, creds.txt. All right, if I list it out, it's gone. Oof, I just needed to commit that hello world file or that hello world script I'm working on. So I'm going to git add my local directory. I'm going to git commit. I'm going to now tell it that I've updated for better security. All right, ooh, deleted that creds file. I'm safe, I'm good to go, right? And if we look, we can see that we don't have the creds file here anymore. But just like we did in the example, if we do a git log and we see started the project, and then we see updated for better security, let's go ahead and take a look at this one. We're going to do a git checkout just like we did the last time. So git checkout, and then we're going to insert our hash value there. Okay, let's do a long listing, and our creds file is back. So that's exactly what happened. If you stuck around for the extra bonus content, thanks. If you found this valuable, like and subscribe. Remember to roll your access keys or store them somewhere else. And that's really it. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you all, and have an awesome day. Go touch a keyboard, do things, because that's what's going to get you better. Take care. Bye.